Is there any way any realistic or legitimate way in your mind you could see Jake Paul winning a fight against Tank?
No.
No way.
Nope.
Shakur Stevenson was spotted this week at Gervonta Tank Davis's training camp, sharing gym time with Calvin Ford and several of Tank's sparring partners. The appearance came only days after reports emerged that Shakur had been doing some light sparring with Jake Paul in Puerto Rico. When questioned about his recent moves, Shakur kept things vague, saying he's just helping the best man without revealing whose side he's truly on.
Can you blame a man for taking that opportunity? Because this is prize fighting, right? It's about making money and securing your family. Can you fault him for that?
It's two sides of that.
Okay.
It just depends. Like, as a fighter, just because I had a draw with somebody, for me, I may run it back. But
sources close to the camp claim Shakur's visit was far from casual. He reportedly spent hours observing Tank's training sessions, closely watching his drills and even engaging in detailed conversations with Calvin Ford between rounds. Witnesses say Shakur offered strategic pointers as Davis practiced his counters and setups. According to insiders, Shakur advised Tank not to chase an early knockout, but instead to draw Jake Paul into exchanges where he tends to overcommit a flaw Shakur says Jake still struggles with when under pressure. Despite Shakur's recent training sessions with Jake in
my only concern is, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves, you know what I'm saying?
Shakur, ever the strategist, reportedly told Calvin Ford that Jake Paul leans too heavily on his predictable straight right, suggesting that Tank attacked the body early to bait Jake into throwing his overhand and then counter. For someone who's never been part of Team Davis, Shakur seemed to blend in effortlessly, offering sharp insights like a seasoned insider. What's really turning heads, though, is the timing of it all. The fact that Shakur sparred with Jake Paul just days before showing up at Tank's camp has added a surprising twist to the story. Interestingly, Jake's team hasn't denied the sparring session, they've only described it as a bit of mutual respect work, leaving fans wondering where Shakur's true loyalties lie.
Yeah, in terms of sparring, we got some great guys coming in. Some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Love is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Jermaine Ortiz. We're going to hit up Erickson Lubin, some of these guys. So we're just going to bring in a plethora of fighters that are fast, quick, shifty southpaws.
Shakur Stevenson still believes Gervonta Tank. Davis should have given Lamont Roach a rematch. Speaking recently on The Ring Champs with AK and Barack, Stevenson questioned some of Tank's recent choices, particularly his decision not to run it back after their controversial draw. It just depends, Shakur explained. As a fighter, if I had a draw with someone, I'd probably want to run it back. But from a business standpoint, it's different. If you take that rematch and lose to Lamont, then when a big money fight like Jake Paul comes along, it might not be worth as much or may not even happen at all. Stevenson's comments highlight the thin line between legacy and business that top fighters often have to walk.
Jake Paul brings something to media into boxing. You cannot miss this fight. I like the drama of spring, I'll be honest.
But honestly, nobody really cares about this fight.
Yeah, are you going to watch it?
Yeah, of course. That's how it's going to go. Nobody really cares, but everybody's going to watch it.
Nobody cares about this.
Shakur broke down the situation in simple but powerful terms: the fighter's pride versus the businessman's logic. From a business point of view, I'm not hating on the decision. But as a man, your pride can get in the way. Stevenson didn't stop there. He suggested that Tank has been quietly battling doubts about whether he could beat Lamont Roach in a rematch. That uncertainty, combined with growing talk in boxing circles that Tank may be considering retirement, could explain why the Jake Paul fight is happening now. According to Shakur, this isn't about legacy, it's about one last big payday. He described the matchup as a money move, a final run before Gervonta Tank. Davis possibly steps away from the sport for good.
Jake is big. Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw, Lamont Roach performed great. They went to draw, and You know, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to beat a guy who outweighs him by 80 to 100 pounds.
For Shakur Stevenson, a fighter renowned for dissecting opponents both inside and outside the ring, the Jake Paul fight doesn't look like a true test. It looks like a calculated cash grab. But saying that publicly has sparked serious debate, especially since Shakur has recently been spotted at Gervonta Davis's gym. Whether he's genuinely helping Tank prepare or simply observing from the sidelines, the timing of his comments has definitely raised eyebrows across the boxing world. Meanwhile, Jake Paul has been capitalizing on all the noise. After Terrence Crawford called the matchup crazy and almost impossible to believe, Jake didn't shy away instead. He leaned straight into the hype, using every bit of the controversy to fuel attention and sell the spectacle.
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis, they just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank, it's over.
This fight is insane, Jake Paul said. It's two of the biggest names in American boxing going head-to-head. It's a 50-50 matchup. My skill and experience make it competitive, but my size is the equalizer. Meanwhile, Terrence Crawford's skepticism about the fight has gone viral. He admitted he couldn't believe Gervonta Davis would take such a dangerous challenge at this point in his career. But Jake didn't back down. He insisted that it's the unpredictability that makes this fight special. That's what makes it amazing. Nobody knows what's going to happen, Paul explained. He emphasized that this isn't some publicity stunt or exhibition. It's a legitimate test, a fight that will prove where both men truly stand in the sport.
I don't want to beat up somebody that's small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to lose to somebody that. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually. You think it's a good fight? On the fight, but I think my thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing is turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup.
I don't really want to fight someone that small, Ryan Garcia said. You know what I mean? I don't want to hurt somebody like that. There's just no point in that kind of matchup. Don't get me wrong, it's a great fight. I'm not hating on it. But honestly, my take is simple. Let's just watch it and see what happens. Garcia went on to question the direction boxing is heading, comparing the spectacle to WWE-style entertainment rather than pure competition. It's starting to feel more like a show than a sport. He added a sentiment many fans seem to agree with as the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis hype continues to blur the line between boxing and entertainment.
How looking good in this. I don't know how it is. It's looked to me, David and Goliath, but David got skill and Goliath doesn't, but I don't know how it's going to work out. But if for some reason it winds up being a really fun event and it has tons and tons of viewers, millions and millions and millions of viewers, when Gervonta Davis goes back to his